Should I quit my job right now given all the economic volatility? Well, LinkedIn spoke to a career expert who says that's what you should do. I mean, what would you expect? They were an author of a book called Quit, The Power of Knowing When to Walk Away. Here is my take as a recruiter. Yes, if you are in an absolutely toxic job that is taking away your mental health and really causing you issues, then you should quit. But most of us don't have the privilege of not getting by without an income. So here's what I would recommend instead. Stay in the job, but keep your options open. Start talking to recruiters. Start networking with people in the industry. Start the process of looking for a new job. The reality is once you quit a job, it becomes harder to find a new job. And let me explain this. All you need to do is go and look at some of my past posts and see people who are in long job searches, and I promise you, it is extremely tough. You can see it in the comments that they make. Here's how it works. The longer you go without having a job, assumptions start to be made by recruiters and hiring managers. They start thinking things like, well, if no one else wants to hire them, why should we? What's wrong with this person? And the list continues on and on. Whether or not these assumptions are right or true, which they aren't, doesn't really matter. They exist, and you're going to be up against them. So why put yourself in that situation? The other thing to remember is when you're desperate for a job, it starts to show up in interviews and conversations that you're having, and it starts to affect the way that you present yourself. If you have a job, you almost have a comfort zone knowing that, hey, I don't really need this job. I've still got an income. I'm not in a desperate place. That actually gives you the upper hand. I'm sure there's somebody watching this who is in a long job search and is thinking, man, this guy is not giving me much hope. But the truth is you need to know what those assumptions are that are being made. It will help you understand why things aren't panning out the way that you thought they would. So my recommendation on this is don't just quit your job. Quit your job when you have something lined up, because what you don't want to end up happening is you don't want to end up panicking and not being able to provide for your family or for yourself. The other thing to consider is we are in a recession, which means a lot of the open jobs are getting more and more competitive, and companies are moving slower in hiring processes. Again, if you're in an extremely toxic job where you're getting some sort of abuse, yes, the option and the best option might be to quit, but I just don't believe that's the case all the time. Now, if you had spoken to me 18 months ago, I would have said something completely different, but again, you've got to look at the time and you've got to look at the situations that we're in right now. If this video has been helpful, you can check out past videos on the playlist attached to this video, and remember to follow for more career tips, recruiting advice, and of course, humor.